Hello, friends. Welcome. I recommend you grab yourself a set of headphones, sit back, relax, find a comfy blanket to strap yourself in with, and come for a ride on Earthship 2020.
The number you have dialed has been changed.
Pressure never lessens up inside my chest, so I concentrate my mental as I set upon my quest. Bring about more healing, depleting all the stress. In light of what we could be, the world is such a mess.
When the actual factual problems that representing us, preventing us from asking where they're sending us, pretending they're defending us. Ignorance is dangerous. Turn off your TV and wake the fuck up.
Waking life is taking flight far above the earth. It's rather cosmic when I kick it like a drop kick. Premeditate my motions, form flowing for the audience.
There's something in the air, I swear it's people becoming more aware. Stand up, get up, rise up, stand up, everybody.
I've been sitting in this room with all these questions I've been asking. Now I'm mapping out the plans with all the answers I have gathered. I've staggered, but I kept upon my steady pace, traveling the astral plane while walking with the human race.
Welcome aboard, fellow cosmic travelers, to the Earthship 2020 podcast. I am your host and captain of this ship, Jared, and with me as always is my beautiful and lovely co-pilot, Laila.
Ahoy hoy.
So what is an Earthship exactly? What are we talking about here? Well, simply put, an Earthship is a sustainable off-grid home. It's built out of tires, cans, bottles, cement, clay, straw, and you basically don't need any construction experience to build one of these.
Right, so it's a standalone structure that you can create out of these upcycled and natural materials that is off-grid and kind of helps you, or rather enables you to reclaim your independence from all of these municipal utilities.
Right, so the idea for this really came from the everyday struggle of trying to pay rent, trying to pay bills, trying to pay for utilities. I shudder to think how much money we've actually spent on rent throughout the years. I want to say ballpark, it's definitely over $50,000.
Definitely, and that's money that we'll probably never see again.
Probably we will never see that money again.
And, we're now going to slowly crawl into our 30s, and this is the time where we're thinking, you know what? This is getting exhausting. I'm tired of hustling and grinding simply to pay rent and my utility bill. I mean, we don't even have any money left over for the amenities that living in a city has to offer. And granted, that is the plight of many of us. It's not one that I want to prolong.
That's exactly why we're doing this. We came to the realization that this is not sustainable. This is not a sustainable way of life. As we get older, we're going to get more tired, and it's going to be harder to maintain just paying rent, paying utilities.
Yeah, definitely. We do live in a city that is increasing its rent rapidly. Denver is not cheap, and it wasn't cheap when we first got here. I can't imagine what it'll be like in a couple of years. So at the rate that it's growing now, everyone's just going to get priced out, including us. I mean, it's already happening. So this seemed like an attainable solution to a very difficult problem.
And so here we are on this journey to build an Earthship by the year 2020. Well, at least break ground.
Yeah, definitely. So we're giving ourselves till 2020, somewhere between, spring and summer of 2020 to break ground. Until then, we are just going to grind and hustle the hell out of life to save and plan and really try and just gather everything together so that we can realize this dream.
Well put. Throughout this entire series, you'll hear us talk about all the things that we're doing, from obtaining the land to designing the home and finding help with building it. And so we'll go through all of the things necessary in order to build one and just document the whole process. If you're interested in following along through photos and video, we have some up on our Instagram page at Earthship 2020. Earlier this April, Laila and I took a trip to our very first Earthship. You can actually find them on Airbnb and stay in one. That's what we did to get this whole journey kicked off. It all starts with a trip to Dolores.
Continue straight to stay on County Road 30.
You see this, we're on a dirt road in Dolores, Colorado, getting ready to see and stay in our first Earthship. How you feeling?
I'm sick, but fine. Excited. It's all happening. It's all happening. Yeah, take a left. I guess it's here.
We are out in the boonies, which is typically where you find Earthships, since they don't need to be hooked up to the power grid.
That view. Oh my god. It's incredible.
So when you're driving up to the back of these things, you're kind of just looking at a dirt mound. You should get a photo of this road.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so pretty.
Oh, cool. I mean, you don't even know where you're going. It's very hidden, and I mean, it's very much a part of the earth, which is kind of what you're going for. Whoa.
Wow. Wow, this is so cute. This is so cute and so simple. We've got a big, nice, fern-looking tree right when you walk in. Looks like it's doing pretty healthy. Oh, this kitchen. Wow. Oh my god.
It's really adorable. It like makes me really happy.
Old style fridge. It's cold in there. This reminds me of an old nuclear family fridge.
It kind of is.
It's got, so we're inside the living room kitchen space right when you walk in, and the ceilings have wood logs as the base to support the roof and the earth on top of it. Got a nice bookcase, good size open space. We can pull a Matthew McConaughey. Get naked and
flutes and that's awesome.
some amazing planters. These flower beds are spectacular. Ah, it's so cool. It's all rock solid, built out of recycled material
And cement.
And it feels comfortable. Like,
Yeah, like it's
the temperature is just perfect. There's the guest bed with a dividing wall. So this looks like it's a tire wall. Yep. Dividing the kitchen and the guest bedroom. Here's their electrical system. This is incredible.
yeah, and then to have a view right there.
Oh, and that mountain range over there is so western and amazing.
Yeah, this is like a good blend of like Southwest.
Yeah, definitely.
Whoa. Whoa, this is awesome.
Oh, this is a perfect little shower. This is exactly what I was thinking too, with like it's a minimal ledge to have to get up and into, and a bathtub separate.
Wow.
This is also doable.
It really is. Oh, this is super cute.
Walls still have sticks and hay sticking out of the cement. Smells earthy. Cool, we get to stay here tonight.
Yeah, and tomorrow night.
I'm so stoked.
This looks like a lot of work, though. It looks like a fuck ton of work.
Yeah, it's a process. So after going through and inspecting the house, I cracked open a tasty beverage, and Laila and I got to work making seed bombs, aka seed balls, or aka seed pods. They're basically clay with any type of seed that you'd like. You throw them wherever you want, and when the rain comes and dissolves them, it kind of plants the seeds for you. So in several months, after you've long forgotten, you suddenly find beautiful wildflowers in the most random places that you throw these things. Google search any of those and you'll find recipes on how to make them. So after staying here a couple of nights, do you think you can do this?
Yeah, it's really comforting. It's nice. I mean, maybe I don't necessarily have the best representation because we've only done this 2 days and not like a week or a month or months. But I don't know. I mean, I've always loved camping, and this is like glamping, but not. So
It's definitely a change from living in the city and living in a box apartment with people on all sides of you whose business you can hear all the time.
yeah, it's nice not to wake up to like the sound of pee or children screaming or people yelling outside,
Doors slamming across the hall.
cars backfiring, which also sound like gunshots.
Gunshots,
Yeah.
ambulance, sirens, police sirens at all hours of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you go out there, and unless you're making noise, it is very quiet. You can hear everything. Birds, sound travels. It's amazing.
We're trading all of that, those city sounds, for the pops and creaks of the house from the heat expanding and contracting.
Yeah, that was somewhat disconcerting at first, but you get used to it pretty fast.
I kind of feel like that's how it is for any new place that you sleep in, because they're new sounds to you. But after you stay there for a while, they become normal.
It's just an interesting experience to have this whole thing feel like it's groaning and sighing because it's part of the earth and it's alive.
You actually feel like you're inside of a living thing because it talks to you at night and all throughout the day, really. And the creaks of the wood, birds flying into the windows.
Yeah, that only happened once, but it did happen. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? Well, how was this whole experience?
Well, it definitely didn't live up to my expectation of like the building integrity of an Earthship, because there are a lot of cut corners and sloppy architecture.
Well, this
I mean, it looks handmade, but of course, you could have put a little more effort into cleaning up the edges and covering the wiring. Seems like that was kind of an afterthought. It was like, let's just build the infrastructure and then we'll put the wiring in on top of it. So from an architectural standpoint, but the fact that it just sits here out in the desert, well, out in the alpine forest, and it just sits here and collects energy all day, which it stores for later when it gets cold at night, and how it can be two different temperatures inside and outside. Like every time we walked in, I felt pretty warm. And then all throughout the day, if it gets kind of stuffy, you just open up a window and you get some airflow and it's perfect temperature again. And then all the skylights just bring out the room and make it feel a lot bigger than it probably is.
Or it just goes to show you that you don't need that much space when you've got windows to look out. Everyone builds their homes as separate from nature, but it's amazing what happens when you build it into and with. You know, it's just like another part of the ecosystem. You don't need a lot because it's only like half of your home. The other half is right outside that window.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I'm outside even though I'm inside.
Yeah.
And the only thing dividing it is just a pane of glass, a wall of glass.
Not to mention, I mean, the amount of money you would save on electricity with just having a south-facing window where you get light literally from the time that the sun peeks through the horizon at like 7. Obviously, it'll be different in the winter, but like right now, you have like 12 hours of sunlight. You never have to use an indoor light except at night, and by then you'd hope your circadian rhythm has kicked in and you just feel tired at night and you just go to sleep.
Yeah, I think we only use the couple of lights for maybe 3 hours at night.
Yeah, I mean, barely. We got back in at like 8 after the sunset, and then from 8 to 10, and then we went to bed.
Yeah, 2 hours of light bulb use, which you can easily do on a car battery.
And it's not even that big of an adjustment, but it's just that like you can't use the oven all the time, which, you know, whatevs. We have a grill that kind of solved all those problems.
Yeah, but I guess if you wanted to bake something, like a good dinner, you'd have to install more power. And that's kind of why this also didn't live up to my expectation, because this is like the most minimal necessity possible.
Right.
Like, you just have enough power for the oven for 30 minutes and, use the lights and I think that's pretty much it. The amount of solar panels here are minimal. Install more solar panels, you can easily have those amenities that you want.
I mean, this is a guest house, right? There's no dishwasher, there's no washing machine. It's just kind of like a getaway. So they figured you wouldn't need much if you're just chilling.
But even just for chilling, I mean, it just goes to show you really don't need much.
I suppose it depends on the life you want, right?
It's not going to be for everybody.
Exactly. So for us, I mean, this kind of works because I'd rather be outside more and closer to nature and stuff than having a bunch of shit and being inside. And I don't know, you feel differently when you're in the city. Like, I feel more anxious when I'm back in Aurora or Denver. There's just so many people everywhere. It just changes you as a person. Like, certain instincts kick in.
Plus, I just feel claustrophobic there. Living inside of an apartment with 10-foot ceiling and a small south-facing window to light up the whole apartment. I just feel cramped. And then you go outside, and there's traffic everywhere. And then you go into buildings, and there are lines at restaurants. And you go downtown, and there's skyscrapers above you. I'd rather just work for myself and build my own home and do whatever I want and not what other people want me to do.
So yeah, this sounds awesome. I mean, this is only Earthship 1 of 2. We'll see what that other one is like.
So we made it back from our trip safe and sound. What did you feel about it? What was your takeaway from the whole experience?
Well, honestly, I came back feeling really inspired and invigorated because it seemed attainable. I mean, it seemed like a lot of work, but nothing that you couldn't do if you really had the time and the
energy and the somewhat of the know-how, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, it just, if you put your mind to it and you just worked and realized that you were doing this not for anybody else except yourself, it would be such instant gratification that nothing else would matter and you could get it done. And so I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, me too. And that's not to say that, I'm sure that building any type of home elicits that type of feeling of independence finally, and just knowing that you're doing this so that you have a roof over your own head and you're not relying on anybody else. For me, a big takeaway was just seeing the design and the floor plan and seeing how it all comes together, and how this particular home it seemed more like a getaway home than it did a place that somebody actually lives. There was a lot of corners that were not covered. There was exposed piping. There was exposed electronics. That I wish, it made me see that there's a little more work that is going to be involved in making a home to live in forever, instead of just, a getaway home that you can maybe fudge on some of the walls.
Right, just to crash for a couple of days to get away. Definitely, the design and floor plan are a huge red flag, just because, we plan to live in this thing for, a long haul. So while it was amazing and beautiful, definitely needed some work. However, that doesn't take away from the amazing experience of feeling a part of nature as opposed to separate from. You really do feel like you are with nature.
Yeah, instead of, looking out from our third story balcony here, it was really cool to be basically at floor level. When you look outside, the ground is right there. The ground is right there outside your window. And on top of that, you also have planters in this particular home, there was a lime tree, a full-grown lime tree, as well as other types of plants in there.
I think it was a lemon tree, but yeah, no, they they had, little planters that they built into the home where they were growing herbs and a tree, and I'm sure, as the season went on, it would grow into this beautiful lush garden on the inside. And that sounds amazing to me, to be able to just walk into a room and pick some herbs or some medicine if you need it and use it. How much more sustainable can you be? It's like urban homesteading.
Yeah, and it's almost like the American dream now, to be able to just either step outside of your house and pick your food, or in this case, pick your food right there in your kitchen. That is, to me, is so amazing. And that is really what drew me to this whole journey to build an Earthship originally. I just love the idea of having a garden in your kitchen. It just makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, it was really inspiring and beautiful, and I actually didn't want to leave. I mean, it's amazing how much of our time there we spent outside. It's just, that's where you want to be naturally. I mean, you have windows that face the entire south wall, and so you already feel like you're outside, but getting out there, it was the best. It really was.
So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I guess, so on the next episode, we'll actually talk about the second Earthship that we went to stay at in Crestone, Colorado. And we'll get into a little bit about what we're doing to find the right location for our Earthship. And then we'll go from there. So tune in next time to hear all about our second journey to an Earthship. And thanks again for joining us, and we hope that you'll continue to stay aboard Earthship 2020 with us.
Yay, yeah, Earthship.
We love you guys. Take care, and you'll hear from us soon. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Looking round at a culture I detest. They want to medicate us as they work us to the death.
The solutions are left when we're drowning in debt, holding promises that haven't been met.
Trying to find a balance like credits and debits inside a deadly system that these medics can edit.
Getting more expensive, the population's expensive, and I'm still on the fence about if I can make a change.
But I'm looking at schematics as I sharpen my intent, because the body is a temple and God is in the breath. So
I roll a blunt, light it up, get fucked up, forget about the world for a while as I try to crack a smile.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.